Like I talked about that I was ate like a vegan for a couple of years on my podcast. We got more hate comments. Like people are so like passionate. Like screw you eating that way. What do you mean? I was eating that way. I wasn't saying you have to eat that way. But there is like an anger if you show them a different way of living or eating. Just eating.
Well, they look at you as a person who's responsible for the death and suffering of animals.
Right.
Yeah. That's what it is.
Right.
And they wanted to show that they are in a better moral position, and they feel genuinely outraged by your eating meat.
But it's the other side, too. If you say that you ate like a vegan, meat eaters come at you and say, who the hell do you think you are? Yeah.
Oh, you gay, bro?
Yeah.
How long have you been eating dicks?
Isn't it weird?
It is weird.
Like, who do you care about?
Well, the meat eaters, it doesn't make any sense. The meat eater ragging on the vegan, to me, doesn't make any sense at all. Unless it's just like, you ever meet a woman that is just so mad at men because she's ran into a few fucked up men, and they're like, you can't even talk to them? You're like,
right.
All right, you know, people just trying to be nice to you. Like you won't let that happen.
Yeah.
Like every man is shit.
Right.
It's sort of like, I feel like maybe some meat eaters that shit on vegans, they get mad because vegans are so proselytizing. It's such a common thing to be a proselytizing vegan.
Right.
That meat eaters like almost like attack first.
First, right.
You know?
Yeah, like screw you. You're not going to make me feel bad about what I do.
Yeah, but then there's a legit thought point that could be made that the people that are, a lot of the people maybe, that are shitting on vegans and veganism, they're doing so because they don't want to address their own complicity in the suffering of animals. And they don't want to think about it. You make me think about it. I just want to go to Carl's Jr. and get that fucking bacon jalapeno cheddar thing with, you know, there's that too.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't deny.
Yeah.
Again, it's not, there's no absolute. It's not one or the other.
Yeah.
It's very possible that there's a bunch of shit going on.
Yeah.
But the idea that you could get mad at someone for eating vegan, that seems crazy.
It does seem crazy, but I think that people are so connected to what they eat that it brings up this.
Yeah, it's a team thing.
Yeah, right.
It's like we were talking about. It's
Yeah.
along the same line. I mean, how many goddamn vegans out there have the word vegan in their Twitter profile or their Facebook profile or their Instagram
It's
profile?
true.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Right, you're wearing it like a
badge
thing.
of honor.
Right.
Yeah. And they feel like they're going to help the world with this whole plant-based.
Right.
Know?
Yeah.
But if you wrote like meat eater, Tom Papa, meat eater on the
yeah.
You know, unless you run a TV show like Meat Eater with Steve Rinella on the Sportsman's Outdoor Channel.
Nice.
Unless you're doing that,
Yeah.
you would never do that, right?
No.
But you could write plant-based. You know, like, hey, plant-based, I'm plant-based. You know, people write that in their profile all the
They
time.
do.
Vegan, happy vegan.
Yeah.
I'm the healthy vegan.
Yeah, this is
I'm
me.
the fit vegan.
I want you to know what I am and what I stand for.
Athletic vegan. Like, there's so many people that have that in their name profile. It's so obvious what you're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them think,
I just
no,
want to
man,
be part of a team. I just want to be
I'm
part of
promoting
it.
a healthy lifestyle. I'm promoting what's going to save the world. I'm promoting, and I know they believe that.
Uh-huh.
I know they believe that. But I think we tend to look at like the entire thing, right? We tend to look at the entire group of people like, we have to stop eating meat. Look at what we're doing to the environment.
Yeah.
Well, some of us definitely don't have to eat meat. You can do whatever you want.
Right.
And we should all look at factory farming and say, this is despicable.
Yeah,
and this
disgusting.
is horrific that we've allowed our civilization to accept this inside of our borders, right? That this is a barbaric practice.
Yeah.
And it's terrifying because there's a complete denial of like the natural order of life. Instead, you're like, no, I'm gonna just capture this life and cage it up and then shoot it when it's ready.
Yeah.
Like, woo. That way it stays tender because it doesn't move. You're like, woo, this is dark.
Yeah.
To me, what makes sense to me, and everybody has their own thoughts on this, what makes sense to me is to just go out in the wild and get it yourself if you can.
Yeah.
Everybody can't.
No, I know.
People don't have the time.
Right.
And I understand that too.
Yeah.
I get that. I'm not telling anybody what to do, but for me, I was at a point in 2012 where I was trying to decide if I was going to be a vegan or vegetarian. I would lean towards vegetarian because I don't think there's anything wrong with free-range eggs and things along those lines. And I don't think there's anything wrong with catching fish either, so maybe I'd be like a pescatarian.
Right.
But what I wanted to avoid was the factory farming thing is fucked up.
It is completely.
So then I started hunting. I was like, it's going to be one or the other.
Uh-huh.
And once I started hunting, I was like, oh, this is the way.
Right.
Because this is exciting and crazy and wild, and it puts you in tune with nature in this crazy way. And you have this deep, intense respect for wild things that I never had before. I didn't think about the management of wildlife or the resources of the land that we have, like public land, and that these animals roam these areas, and these areas have to be supported with money, and that money comes from hunting tags and a tax on sportsman's gear and sporting gear. And,
Right.
You know, anything hunting gear related, they pay a giant sum of that money that goes towards conservation. It's a big tax.
Right.
It's like 11%.
Wow.
Yeah, so this is like what supports that, and all the licenses and everything that supports the fish and wildlife management
Right.
of this country,
To
of all
protect
this
it.
wild game. And,
Yeah.
and that's why there's more deer in this country than there's been since Columbus landed. There's more deer in this country than when Columbus landed. Stop
Is
and
that
think
true?
about that. Yes, it is. More white-tailed deer in this country than there ever was before. And then there's other animals that they had almost extirpated because of what they used to call market killing.
Uh-huh.
Market hunting they used to do at the turn of the century, back when they didn't have refrigerators. They would just took advantage of these wild animals roaming around. They would hire assassins essentially to go out, shoot these animals, and sell the meat. And they almost wiped out all the elk. They almost wiped out all the deer. They almost wiped out everything.
Jeez.
So at one point in time, before Fish and Wildlife Management companies started managing all this stuff, there was a severe problem with the lack of wildlife and the possible impending extinction crisis. But since then, they've repopulated elk in a lot of areas. They repopulated deer almost everywhere it was before.